Open ocean doors. Stand by. Deploy Barracuda 01.
Barracuda 01 launched.
Maintain radio contact.
Barracuda 01 to base. Approaching Hyperion, or at least what's left of her. Going out there. Let me take a look.
Okay, Jake, be careful.
Airlock clear. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Jake. Jake, you read me, Jake.
Get me out of here.
Jake. Jake, come in.
The 469th game I played was XCOM, Terror from the Deep. The second of what would become a dozen and counting XCOM games, this PlayStation port came out in 1995, a year after its DOS release. Unlike the first XCOM game, Terror from the Deep's port was only released in Europe's PAL region, giving us this nice selection of languages to go with its 50Hz standard. If you've played XCOM Enemy Unknown or XCOM 2, you should have a decent idea of what to expect. There's an alien invasion and all the governments of the world are funding a massive defense project and need you to run everything. You've got a massive base, in this case a seaborne platform, and you've got to balance all sorts of staff, researching new technologies, weapons to hunt alien crafts, weapons to carry into battle, and an ever-ticking clock. The XCOM games have a reputation for difficulty, and my try probably would have been well serviced by consulting a manual. I never do though, so I putzed around for a while trying to get a feel for the menus and see how similar everything feels to the XCOM I already knew. The more recent entries introduce everything you have to manage pretty gradually, but Terror from the Deep seems to have pretty much everything available right out of the gate, which was a little overwhelming. It took me a lot longer to figure out than it has to say all this, so we're speeding this video up a bit. Eventually, I figure out how to chase down and intercept the alien crafts that keep passing by my base. Time for the first battle. Let's get our Aquanauts ready, and out we go. Eventually. The new game mode brings a new UI and new control scheme that takes me another few minutes to wrap my head around. Eventually, I figure things out and move everyone out of the sub. Alien hunting time. How hard could this be? After all, I'm on the second easiest difficulty. Well, fuck. One obliterated squad and failed mission isn't a game over though, so my try continues on some lost resources. I've still got a good chunk of money, so I try to recoup some of my losses and prepare for the next battle. I don't do a very good job of this, and ultimately end up deploying my next crew completely unarmed. Rather than send them on a doomed mission of nonviolent resistance, I retreat from this mission, getting worried that I'll never get to see any real XCOM action. These worries were unfounded, of course, as I buy one ticket to the gun show and actually equip my troops for their next battle, which comes soon enough. I take a more cautious approach in this one, and my bloodlust ultimately got the better of me, and my attempt to chase down the final two aliens taking cover in their ship ends in defeat. Legends grew, I imagine, of the two sectoid survivors, lovers perhaps, and their heroic defense against the human siege. As the alien confidence grew, the human confidence sank. A depression-induced spending spree cleans the coffers. Alien craft sightings are routinely ignored. Humanity's final presidents threaten to cut off our allowance. Finally, the sectoids come for our base. Humanity's last stand. Historians and politicians, if any have either remained after humanity's defeat, would argue for years over the reasons that Matthew Greer and Jacques Stauder didn't have any weapons to hold as the sectoids rained hell upon them. Poets and painters, however, might focus on what they did hold. Each other. Maybe it was luck that made so many shots miss. Maybe it was love. But what poets and painters don't want you to know is that neither last forever.